Welcome to another episode of Compas F.C. We got a lot to talk about today. I'm Fernando Ramirez. That's J.C. Cervantes. That's Eddie Rodriguez. Got a lot to talk about. PSG out, out of the rounds of 16 again. Obviously, Tottenham Milan 0-0, and Chelsea moves on after a surprising defeat of Borussia Dortmund. Benfica thrashing Club Brugge, they move on. So we're gonna get into that and a lot more. Guys, how you guys doing today? Eddie, how you doing?
Here we are, boys. A lot of my locks locked in, and here we are.
JC? Oh my bad.
JC, JC and his boy Conte out there have a lot to answer for.
Just out here hanging out looking for Messi. That's all. I don't know. Just curious,
¿Dónde está?
World Cup best ball player in the world, and man was nowhere to be found.
Him and Salah can get together next time and playing for some revenge, I guess.
Yeah, maybe Rashford too.
Obviously, wanted to show you guys the new digs. Look at that. Yeah. Compas FC at the top, some fire on the soccer balls. They must have been fired off by Ronaldo, though, because they got a little bit of fire on them. So definitely some good job by Vic. Vic, we appreciate the new
shout out Vic.
It's definitely awesome. So, guys, we got to get this started. Bayern Munich, they beat PSG 2-0, 3-0 on aggregate to advance. PSG is eliminated. Eddie, what happened? Why is Bayern Munich just so dominant and looks like in all three phases of the game? Because Manuel Neuer's not there, but obviously in all three other phases, they look pretty dominant in both legs.
They got a lot of talent out there, but the most important thing is that they play like a team, and the cohesion is there. Where you see PSG. And they have a lot of talented players, but a lot of individual players that don't play for the team. I hate to say this, but like Mbappe was like almost as anonymous as Messi. And I was hinting at this at the chat, and I know JC agrees with me. Neymar is who makes that team tick, man. Offensively, the ball has to go through Neymar, and they missed him. Especially this leg here where Mbappe wasn't doing much. Messi was just strolling, not doing much. The defense was in shambles. Danilo, I don't know what he's doing there. But Verratti, wow, what a mistake to do and commit in a pivotal moment in the game. And, to call and cry for a foul when, Goretzka tackled him really clean, stole the ball, did the layoff or whatever, it's unbelievable. So, again, PSG, they are who we thought they were. It's a bunch of frauds, in my opinion. Just overall, just always the same story with them. And Bayern Munich, it's a lot of star power in that team, man. And they still had the luxury to bring out a Sane, a Narbi, and a Mane off the bench. So watch out. Are they the favorites? Possibly.
I don't know, but JC, what did you see in this game?
PSG just choked again in the Champions League. You've seen it once, you've seen it again. Nothing new there. They have the current what did they say on Paramount? The current best player and the next best player in the world, and they can't get it done. Well, of course. I mean, Marquinhos went down like the first 5 minutes, right? Big game misser. Another guy. It's anonymous in big games, but for me, I expected more from Bayern, to be honest. I know you sit back and you don't want to lose a quick counter or a quick long ball over to Mbappe, but you got two guys manning them up. Shout out that new kid, the number 44, Sucic or something like that, I think his name was. He played lights out, right there. He was on the right with Davies, right? He was really just letting Davies run up and down all he wanted to. Nothing to worry about when it came down to it. But I feel like Bayern should have just scored a few more goals. They waited them out. They were patient. They stuck to the game plan structure, defended the house well. But, you really didn't see them create any chances until the end when they really just left it open. And, kudos to them for finishing and executing and getting the result done. But I don't know. It was a little bit of a luller. I found myself dozing off here and there a few times trying to watch those guys, just manage the game. But
there were some shaky moments for sure.
That Delit with the big save, way to be heads up.
Sommer with his feet is terrible.
Sommer busted to the head,
just giving up
position. It's all rough out there, you know. But lucky for them, Delit didn't take any plays off literally all game, and he was just cranking. I know you want him at Madrid now after that
He
performance.
wants everyone in Madrid,
But
huh?
for sure, for me, PSG really they are who we thought they were in this chat, in this room, in this group, and Bayern. I don't know. They could be the favorite, but I don't know if the coach is getting everything out of their players. Musiala was out there by himself for the longest, just running the whole offense. Very defensive holding mids, with Koretzka and Kimmich. The way he set them up, they're not necessarily, they could come out and produce. But I still feel like they were a little too hesitant. So we'll see what they do the next round. Just wanted to see a little more firepower. Some boring games compared to the ones before. Chelsea. Maybe they wanted the Chelsea ref because a lot of those fouls they were crying for at Chelsea and were getting them left and right. So I think they sent the wrong ref over to Paris, right? I mean, to Germany.
Exactly. To me, I thought the best player on the field was Sergio Ramos, to be honest, for PSG. Like offensively, defensively, mid, like he was making good passes. He was doing everything he needed to. Just the rest of the team just wasn't like you guys said. Like you could tell they were missing Neymar, but I think it's more than that. I think this team is way too top heavy. You have Messi, you have Neymar, and you have Mbappe. But then after that, you really like have some players that you're like Donnarumma's an okay goalkeeper. He's not really. I don't think that he is what everybody thought he was going to be at this point. Then you look at their defense, like you guys said, Marquinhos goes out. Like to me, Ramos like was the best player on that field today, and I was impressed, or on Wednesday, and I was really impressed with the way he played. He still has a lot of juice left. Surprise! Well, I'm not surprised that he retired from the Spanish national team, just because I know that.
No, he didn't retire. He got pushed out.
Well, yeah, he got pushed out, and
Yeah.
they definitely could have used him at the World Cup, and especially the way he played. What other defender? Maybe Pau Torres, but other than that, who else was going to play at a high level like this guy did? So you kind of need that passion and everything from him. But it was just it was tough to watch, and then you kind of just see Mbappe at times standing around. But I mean, I gotta ask Eddie, I gotta ask you this question: Is it time for Kylian to ask out?
Certainly. I mean, I don't think this PSG project is going anywhere. They've been at it for several years now where they're not worried about the league in their own country. They're going to steamroll everybody in League On. So it's the Champions League or bust. And the closest man to get him there is Thomas Tuchel. So it's time for Mbappe to look for new ventures. And, Payne's going to say it, but Real Madrid is probably the prime spot for him, right? A club that's known for winning the Champions League in recent years, a club that's known for producing Ballon d'Oros left and right, especially when Cristiano was there. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense for Mbappe to start looking elsewhere. This PSG project really, I think, it's run its course. So I don't know what the Qatari ownership is going to do next, but really, if you lose Mbappe, where do you go from there? I don't see Messi resigning, and if you do resign Messi, who are you going to play around him, or who's going to be around him? Because it also looks like Neymar's on his way out. So, do you really think that a 35-year-old Messi, you've seen the performance today, is going to be your pivotal point moving forward? Yeah, I don't think so. So for Mbappe, time to move on.
This is what was said on CBS after the game by Jamie. And obviously, I think JC sent this to us.
I know Jamie wants to talk about him as well.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think not so long ago, he's actually broke the record for PSG. And I'm sure he will go on and do that for
in
France.
terms of goal scoring, yeah.
He will do that was against Nantes, and I think he'd be Cavani's record in that. So he's done that. Yeah, there's a lot more for him to do, and I just don't know how long he's going to stay at PSG, unfortunately, because, yes, breaking records at PSG is great, but I think he's got to be at Real Madrid sooner rather than later.
It's like Harry Kane all over again, right?
And that's the thing is that we've
You're going to stay and be a top goal scorer, and that's it?
You know what the crazy part is? I remember JC said this last year when Mbappe decided to re-sign. JC said, I think he's only re-signing for 1 year. He's going to do the World Cup with France, be there for France, come back as a PSG star, and then he's going to decide to leave so that PSG makes some money off of him, and he doesn't feel like he let down his home country when he leaves.
That's what it is.
And that's what it feels like. That's where it's headed. Because you saw, like, at times today, he's kind of like looking around, going, like, dude, what's going on? Like, why aren't we cohesion? It's the same look that we saw last year after they lost when they lost to Real Madrid. I remember I saw his face, and he's kind of looking around, like, damn, like, what do these guys have that other teams don't have, or that we don't have? And it's just the same look that always happens. But JC, do you stand by your prediction from last year, or like what you said you thought was going to
Oh,
happen?
100%. There's not a clear football direction there. They're just buying guys just to buy them. Like you bought a down the hill Ramos, down the hill Messi. You're banking on Mbappe to just kind of pull you out every single time you need somebody to pull you out, and it's not fair to him, you know. And I don't want to give him the LeBron James treatment, but where's his help? I've always said it, always been anti, like, hey, get him help, get him help. No, man, like you're the best player in the world. You make things happen out of nothing. If you want to talk about Messi carrying a lesser Argentina team through a whole World Cup, where was he today? How many literal, how many plays that really affected the game?
Champions League is a different breed.
Leo Messi, ¿dónde está?
And I get it. Like, you definitely, when you compare a PSG side to an Argentina side, the PSG side is way stronger. So what's the excuse? You know what I mean? France side versus PSG side, the France side is stronger, but the quality's there. But the sporting director is definitely not doing them any favors. They're not putting the right players in the right position. They're not developing. They're
I don't want people to
rotating players,
misinterpret you,
head
JC,
coaches.
because
It's rough out there.
let's not beat around the PSG squad is not that great. Let's be completely honest.
But if you compare,
is it better than that Argentinian squad? I think so.
That's what I'm saying.
You got better defenders because what are you going to rate? Romero or Ramos or Marquinhos? I don't think so. Maybe better than Danilo.
And they only lost 1-0 the first game. 1-0 because Mbappe was injured, right? When you had Neymar and Messi, you had chances on goal, right? Because Neymar's there creating everything and up there for you, the typical Brazilian, right? Just give the Brazilian the ball and get open. He'll find you. You're going to score some goals. But that's it. The man came off. They didn't have any answers. They didn't have another playmaker. They didn't have another mid. Verratti's on his last leg. You're banking on that guy to be your holder. You got Renato Sanchez on the bench. You got Renato Sanchez on the bench. You're playing a makeshift defense now because Marquinhos went hurt because he's playing too many games for you. Kimpembe's out. You got no answer. There's no depth. There's no squad depth. The sporting director is just dropping the ball. You got all the money in the world, and you can't develop a team, an actual team, and you're switching coaches every year because you want to make somebody in the clubhouse happy. You're just setting yourself up to fail. And that's, what shows it. You got a team like Madrid who goes down 2-0 and then bangs in 5 on the Liverpool out of nowhere because they're a team. They know each other. They know who they go to. They know how to play. They have their foundation and they stick to it and they play it. You never see PSG have that foundation, and you never see them stick to it since Thomas Tuchel left. And the last time they looked menacing was when Zlatan was there. That's when you really were hoping and thinking that they were going to win something. Him and Cavani bagging goals left and right, and that was it. And they had a lesser team then than they do now compared to the star power, and they went further.
It's funny you mentioned that right now. Sergio Ramos was asked on Tuesday by the media, hey, when you were at Real Madrid, did you guys have cohesion? He said, look, we weren't all friends. He's like, there were some of us that didn't like each other. We had group chats where we weren't all in it. Like, we had people that we just didn't get along with. But as soon as we went out on that pitch, we were all one. Like, we were all best friends playing soccer, doing all that. We all understood our assignments. We all understood what we were doing. And that's the thing that I think a lot of teams lack. They lack that cohesion to go out there and be able to do different things. And I'm not saying that Real Madrid's the only one that does it, because there's other teams that do it too. But it's like he said, when you have the leadership, and that's why they brought Ramos in, because they knew that Neymar's not a leader, Messi's not a leader, neither is Mbappe. Like, Mbappe's just growing. That's why they brought in Ramos, and it just seems like they haven't been able to build it because there's too much diva on that team. I mean, in a sense, I don't know if I'm wrong, but I just feel like there's a lot of diva on there. There's obviously Messi won the World Cup. He's kind of looks like he's stuck on neutral, and it's kind of like whatever's it. But it just seems like these guys just don't care, and PSG just wants to buy up players and bring them in and think, oh, this is all going to fit. Well, no, you need some homegrown players along with some guys that understand what the crest is like. You remember Ramos, Iker Casillas, all these guys, they would die for that crest. That's what, and Benzema now, like, those guys would die for that crest, and you need people that are gonna feel the same way, and not every team feels that way. I mean, and that's just my opinion. But Eddie, I don't know if you agree with
Yeah,
that.
no, I mean, I think you hit it right. You need someone that can check the egos of these players, and if you don't have the manager that can do that, then this is what you get. You get players that play individually, who take a day off, who, oh well, we lost, whatever, it doesn't matter. I think it is important to have
Tomorrow,
some homegrown talent in
tomorrow.
there, in every squad and sprinkled in here and there. But I also think it's just down to the management, and it all starts with the gaffer. And that's the difference between a Real Madrid and a PSG, where they have someone like Ancelotti, who's won everything in club football. So he has the respect of a locker room. He can sit someone down like a Vinicius or a Benzema, and they're not going to complain about it. They're going to understand, you know. So, do PSG have that? They don't have that. And again, just buying all these players and throwing them in there and thinking the team's going to work. Clearly, that's not the answer, right? And that's why you see other teams like a Bayern that are meticulously buying players and the transfer window that fit their system, fit their playing style, will adjust perfectly to the Bundesliga in Germany, where other clubs like PSG, like even Man City, just buy players to buy players, and let's hope for the best. So
I mean, and I'm just gonna last thing on the Mbappe topic, and this is just me. Mbappe, you've been there for a couple of years now. You've been there for about 5 seasons. You lost to Manchester United in the round of 16. You lost to Bayern in the final. You lost to Man City in the semifinals. You lost to Real Madrid last year in the round of 16. Now you lose to Bayern on the round of 16. Does it feel like you're going up? No, it feels like you're staying neutral. I mean, you went to the round of 16 against Man U. You went up to the final. You kind of came down to the semifinals, and then you're still in the you're still in the set, and now you're in the round of 16. You've been eliminated now in the round of 16 twice in a row, and it's not getting any better. So I mean, in my opinion, Kylian needs to make that move. He needs to go somewhere where he's gonna have cohesion, like you guys say. He's gonna have leadership. He doesn't need to be the leader. He can go somewhere like Real Madrid where he's not the leader, but there's other leadership behind him. And then on top of that, you have other playmakers that are going to help you and help you establish. And if that's been your dream since you were a kid, you might as well should just do it now. PSG will get some money in return. They can go get players or get whatever they need. You're not going to leave them hanging or whatever. But if you want to be one of the all-time greats, you need to make a move. You can't stay in PSG because you're not going to win the Ballon d'Or. You're not going to win the Champions League. You're not going to win anything at PSG, and I really do think it's time for him to move on and to find a new team. And obviously, all signs point to Real Madrid. Why? Because he said it. I want to follow in the footsteps of Cristiano Ronaldo. I love Cristiano Ronaldo. He loves Real Madrid. He's been the guy that they've wanted him since he was a kid. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him. But I really do think that he needs to make a move. But now moving on, JC, I got to ask you.
Leo Messi, Leo Messi, ¿dónde está?
No, and I'm being honest. Like I think you're on mute, JC. But
Where is he?
where was he?
I
Eddie?
don't know, man. I don't know. Best player ever,
Look,
right?
he had that one half chance, I guess you can call it, and he didn't capitalize on it. But again, he took the day off, man. Let's be honest. Don't be a Messi sympathizer out there and say, "Oh, well, this happened and that." No, no. Let's be honest. He took the day off. He's been taking the days off since he won the World Cup. I don't think he's all in there anymore to keep playing at a high level like this. I think he's already looking forward to retirement. And what does retirement look like for Messi coming to
He's
the
going to the
MLS,
next
right?
club now. Oh, very soon. Very soon.
So
Inter? You think Inter?
You'll go to Miami.
Let me ask you guys now. Obviously, that let's move on to the next question. Obviously, Neymar's out for the rest of the season due to injury.
Wowzers.
Well, now he can go to his sister's birthday. But Eddie,
Carnaval.
This weekend.
What should happen with him? I mean, where should he go next? What do you think is the next move for Neymar? I mean, it just kind of feels like and I think I saw today he's bagged a lot of goals for PSG, but at the same time, he's missed almost missed the same amount of games that he's played for PSG due to injury. But what do you think should happen next with him?
Oh man, I mean, ideally, I'd want to see him in the Premier League, but they
Can he
don't
handle the
take
Premier
kindly
League?
to his play. They don't take kindly to his playing style there. First game in, someone's gonna come in, start showing. So maybe Serie A. I don't think he makes a trip back to La Liga. I don't think anyone in the Bundesliga is able to afford him besides Bayern, and I don't think Bayern are interested. Possibly a move to Serie A. He's barely 31, but the guy's fit. Clearly, when he's fit, he's firing. Yeah, he went injured or whatever you want to call it, but again, it's hard. It's hard because I want to see him in the Premier League, but then again, like what team or what team would actually buy him and what style will he actually fit? Pains me to say it, but maybe Arsenal. Makes a lot of sense to me. But if he goes to Serie A, there's only a few teams there that can actually afford him, and those teams are Juventus, Milan, Inter, and possibly a Roma, maybe, depending on how much they're asking. We'll see.
He could be a superstar in Italy. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of guys out there right now, but he could really
when they
shine
went on
in
that
Italy.
Champions League run and made it to the final, he was healthy.
Yeah,
he played the entire season, and a healthy Neymar is top 10 player in the world easily.
And not just that. I mean, he like that Bayern game. He should have bagged a hat trick. I think he was kind of off his.
Oh, he's
I
playing
remember
for
that
fun.
game. Huh?
He was playing for fun. He was playing for fun that game for sure.
Yeah, he should have had something else. JC, where do you think? Because I saw you kind of a little surprised with Eddie.
It's tough. It's tough to tell because it comes down to the same thing. It's like, does he want to play? When he doesn't want to play, he's not going to play. You see it every year, same time, same injury, the ankle, the knee, the chest, whatever, the groin, out for a couple months. Now he's out for the rest of the season with an ankle injury, right, that he was nursing since the World Cup. But the man, he's won everything on the club stage, right? What left does he have to play? What does he have left to prove as a club player? All he's worried about is just that World Cup, and if he gets it, he gets to go down as one of the greatest Brazilian players ever. And he did it his way at the end of it, so that's the icing and the cherry on the cake for him. But I don't really see him being, a superstar in the Premier League. Serie A is really going to be his best bet at this point, just because it's a slower game, and he could easily run amok in the Premier League, but he doesn't want to. He don't want to deal with that physicality, and he's already getting injured left and right playing for Paris, a league that favors him substantially. And there he is, just kind of taking it day by day. When he feels like playing, he plays, and doesn't. It's just that he's mentally checked out, and having to compete for ego stardom next to Messi, and Mbappe's not doing him any favors. So that man's written off. Chelsea's probably going to be the Premier League to buy him. Could fit Arsenal. Arteta's going to go crazy, try to break the bank. But Chelsea buys everybody. And Joao Felix isn't looking too bad either. And you could really say his play style is very similar to Neymar. And Neymar is definitely a more polished player when you're comparing the two. So if Joao could fit in there,
he's
I could definitely
frustrating to watch.
I could definitely see a Neymar in there easily, But just saying, if he's going to go anywhere, I'd probably say it's going to be somewhere in Italy.
All right. Well, before we move on, I just got to do this one more time.
¿Dónde está Leo Messi? Leo Messi.
Oh, before I do, I forgot.
Gonna get some lovely comments in the video.
I forgot about this. Eddie, you take this.
Dislikes.
You tell me what does this tell you?
It's the best
Messi,
player in the world, bro. That's the best player ever, right there.
Misery loves company.
Since the last time he won a Champions League when Neymar and Suarez went crazy, and they won that one against Juventus. Look at that. He's lost against Atletico, against Juve, then la remontada against Roma, la remontada against Liverpool.
The most embarrassing one is against Roma, right?
That one was
even the Liverpool one.
Nah, the Liverpool one is bad. The Liverpool one is bad.
Yeah, they were up 3-0.
That Origi goal was that was.
Yeah.
What about the one where Arnold is just like walking?
That's that
walking.
Yeah.
Walking. It goes up.
That's that one.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, you're right.
That's the Origi goal.
somebody didn't play that game. It was either Firmino, Salah, or Sane. One of them didn't play, and they still freaking came
Gini
back on them.
Wijnaldum was the MVP of that game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was. He was running amok.
And then that 2020,
magician.
that 2020 is when they got thrashed by Bayern, right? Like 7-0.
8-2, I think, or something like
8-2,
that.
yeah, 8-2.
Blew up.
And they lost to PSG. Oh, they lost to PSG. Oh, yeah, they lost to PSG.
He lost to Paris, joins Paris, and loses to Madrid, and then he loses to Bayern again.
You know, he hasn't scored a round of 16 goal since like that Paris, and I think it was a penalty against Paris in 2021.
What else is new? He's anonymous in big games, man.
I mean, that's just crazy to me. I mean, but I mean, I guess GOAT, I guess. All right, let's move on now to the other one of the other matchups.
The sleeper.
AC Milan versus Tottenham. The first game 1-0 was a good matchup. I think you know what? Okay, that's the funny part about this whole thing. So obviously that first game ends up 1-0, and it was on a Brahim Diaz goal where he kind of comes up, the goalie and everybody's slipping, and he kind of just headers it in. So it was just an awkward goal, and that's the only goal that we got in both series. But Tottenham's out, Milan advances. Eddie, give me what did you think about this? Both legs.
You know, that's what you get when you have two Italian coaches facing off, right? A super defensive game, a sleeper of the game. Tottenham don't even look like they belong in the Champions League. And to be honest, I think Conte's on thin ice. I've been saying it for a long, long time. This team looks a shell of itself, I would say. And they have some talented players. But again, it's just the managers, unfortunately, you know, not the right fit for this team. And that's not the type of playing style that Tottenham fans want to see. That's what they're complaining about with Mourinho. But the difference between Conte and Mourinho is that Mourinho actually got him to a cup final. So, again, I don't know what excuse J.C. is going to come up with right now about why Conte should stay or Conte's the right guy or whatever the case may be. But Antonio Conte, let's be honest, I don't think I'll see him this time next year representing Tottenham.
Yeah, it's definitely true. I mean, like I said it last time, the ownership doesn't want to win over there, bro. They're not for it. They're not for it. It doesn't matter the coach. It doesn't matter the coach. They're not going to win. They're going to lose Harry Kane.
It's an excuse because if they didn't want to win, how did Mourinho get him to a cup final then?
Why did he get fired? Why did he get fired?
Okay?
Why did he get fired?
If they didn't want to win,
why did he get fired?
And they don't back up any of the coaches, how did Mourinho manage to get a team of broken players into the cup final?
My man, the same way he got that United team to be second place. All right,
come on,
without any ownership backing, he knows exactly what it is.
There's
and he
levels
knows exactly
to
how
this.
to do
There's
it.
levels to this.
There are levels to it.
Antonio Conte,
and it's again different
great
coach,
manager as he is, and he's shown to be. He's not at that level where
he's won
you can
everywhere.
Take a project team like this Tottenham team and then expect to make. You're
really rating Tottenham as a top team in the Premier League?
Look, is it a top 6 team? Is it a top 6 team in the Premier League?
You're rating.
It's been for many years.
You're talking about Tottenham.
No, but I'm rating some of the players in the team, like a Harry Kane, a Kulusevski, a
you
Son.
Rate Kulusevski. Okay.
You know.
So you rate Kulusevski. There's 3 players.
Stop giving it. No more excuses for Conte. No more excuses for Conte.
Why did Mourinho get fired?
No more excuses for Conte.
Why did Mourinho get fired?
Because people were crying.
Yeah, because they were going to win. Because they were finally going to win. Crying. And people are going to cry because they're putting them to work. The same way today. Nobody wants to work on that team. Everybody's there to just take a vacation. It's like the English version of the PSG. They just go over there, hang out, have a kick, show up for some pictures, on to the next. That's all it is, man. Tottenham was expected to lose this game, especially after that one. You even got the assistant coach coming out and saying that the players aren't even showing any effort. That's a top-bottom issue right there, man. Starts at the top, and they need to sell that team and do their fans a favor and the rest of the league. Because, I mean, you really – how long did it take them to get anywhere with that?
You fire Conte first before you sell that team.
How long did it take them to get that far with Punch? Like, really? How long did it take?
I mean, let's be fair. With Pochettino there, the project really took, I'd say 3 years, maybe tops.
And it was rough.
But he brought in a bunch of unknown players and established them and developed them.
Hey, And not any other coach has gotten that
And
same time.
Conte can't
Nobody
develop
else.
talent.
Nobody else has
And
gotten that Bayern.
Conte can't develop the talent there. Why
Nobody
can't he
else has
develop
gotten
the
a
talent
Bayern.
there?
Nobody else has gotten a Bayern. You just said it. 3-year project for Pochettino. Mourinho fired after how many years? And how many is Conte going to be fired at? 18 months? 18 months and he's going to be gone?
Mourinho.
That's not 3 years, champ. Of course nothing's going to change.
So,
yeah, this game was rough. That goal just sums up this whole leg.
I thought it was. I mean,
leg. That
I thought it was
Brahimi goal is literally.
It was a hard fought series. Like both teams, I mean, they played hard defense. They tried to do as much as they could, but it just felt like neither team could really get it into the back of the net. Eddie, I don't know what you thought.
It's a Spursy performance, and Milan was there to just do one thing and hold the result. And that's what happened. Good on them. I think they have a lot more to show going into the next game. But, Spurs is just in shambles. Another year without a trophy.
So what, I mean, I know you guys are talking about selling the team and everything, but I mean, Son and Harry Kane got to ask for same thing that we said. Well, I mean, they're much older than obviously Mbappe is, but shouldn't they ask for their release or not their release, but to be sold?
Well, signed a long-term contract with them. I think they locked him up for another 5 years. So Son's not going anywhere. If anyone can go anywhere, it's Harry Kane. And this is where he's in a pivotal moment in his career where he either signs his last long contract and stays a one club hero like Alan Shearer did for Newcastle, or calls it a day and says, "Hey, I've done everything I could. It didn't happen for me here, but like JC's always hinted at it, bust out RVP and make the switch to a winning team and possibly try to get some trophies in your cabinet. You don't want to be a Micah Richards and be in the Champions League studio at 33 with one trophy. So
yeah, well, give me one
tough
team where you think Harry Kane might play next season.
I mean, I hate to say it, but it might be Manchester United.
JC?
He's going to stay in England. He wants to eclipse the all-time English goal-scoring record. He's going to stay somewhere there. Only team that needs a 9 and actually needs one is United. So that's probably where you'll see him going, but it's up to him. The ball's in his court. You want to win? You want to try to really win some trophies, or you just want to go and be somebody's hero and talk about how many goals you scored and that's all you got to your name?
Real quick, to use a number 9.
That'd be interesting. JC, are you excited about AC Milan moving on?
As long as they don't keep playing the way they're playing, yeah. I mean, you really got to go out there and try to win. I guess if you're planning to just be that team that wins the games in a very, defensive 1-0 ugly manner, I guess you could say, because you watch these games to watch some star power, and Milan has a star power, but they're not letting it loose. And if they come and play against a Chelsea, they and they're not doing that much better than them. But at least they'll play a more open style of football, and they can get ran over. So
seems like JC. Seems like JC has an eye on my rundown, because that's who we're talking about next. Chelsea beats Borussia Dortmund 2-0 after Borussia Dortmund took a 1-0 lead coming into Stamford Bridge. The fans even had it raining yellow before the game. It looked like it was going to be a Borussia Dortmund kind of home game because it was loud for them. And Chelsea really, to everybody's surprise, took it to them. Obviously, Sterling got things started. He was kind of a problem at the beginning, and then obviously Kai Havertz. So Eddie, just talk about this game and how Chelsea were able to come back. This is a huge game for Graham Potter.
Desperate for a win.
Yeah.
And I think if Graham Potter would have lost this game, he would have, lost the Chelsea job. So, his team really bailed him out. I think his squad selection was really bold, starting a Sterling and a Kai Havertz up top, with a Joao Felix just lingering behind them. Let's be honest, the best player on the pitch today was Kai Havertz. Pains me to say it, but the guy was everywhere, linking up play, scoring the goal.
What did Havertz do to you?
It's not that what he's done to me. It's just,
you're mad.
It hasn't worked out for him at Chelsea. That
he's
as
got
much
it.
as you want to say it has.
He's got a Champions League winner.
Let's be real.
You mad he beat Pep?
they were happy to have Reece James back because obviously you see a lot, like a bigger difference when he's playing. Chilwell got a rare start. I don't know if Graham Potter's going to start going to Chilwell a lot more now. But,
Cucurella can't handle it.
again, Chelsea desperate for a win, got their win. I think Borussia Dortmund can call themselves unlucky because I felt they had a couple chances where they could have scored. A horrible penalty call, in my opinion, there. Kind of rough.
Nah,
The
that's
ball
a
is
pen.
just too close to the player where
That's a
the
pen.
player, when he kicks the ball to the other player, he's just too close. No way he can react on time. Unlucky.
pen.
I think the penalty redo was
That's-
uncalled for, I think.
That's a
'cause
rule.
I think
Rules are rules.
the
I
keeper's
thought they all moved. I thought
I think
Chelsea players
the
moved
keeper's
too.
heels were on the line, so I don't know what the
Hey,
rule
the
is.
player ran into the box. They called the Borussia player running into the box
Is that what
before
they
he kicked the
called?
ball.
Because the
That's what it
commentators were
was.
arguing that it was because the.
The
No, they called the
commentator
players
don't
running
know
into the
left or
box.
right.
All right, so
The player ran into the
Whoa,
box.
whoa, whoa,
I
whoa,
guess.
JC! Before you say that, there's only one that does know.
It's ecstasy.
Astonishing! This
Yeah, he was dead silent too, wasn't he?
No,
Messi magic.
he commentated today. He didn't do it
Yeah,
yet.
that's what I'm saying. No Messi
Oh.
magic for him to yell on.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Dead silent. Real
Go ahead.
sleeper.
Continue, Eddie.
No, but honestly, I think they introduced Gio Reyna a little too late. I think he could have offered you a lot more in this game. The game was pretty open, let's be honest. Like J.C. said, they Chelsea under Graham Potter are playing a more open style of play. It's just they haven't been producing the goals. So a Gio Reyna definitely would have helped you, unlock some of the defenses there. But again, unlucky if you're a Borussia Dortmund fan. And you're a lucky fan if you're a Chelsea fan. And if you're Graham Potter, you're especially lucky because that means you kept hold of your job for at least another week.
JC, what did you think about this matchup or this game?
Chelsea.
You were the one. I mean, you basically said before the game, you're like, he's like, you thought Chelsea was going to come back and beat Borussia Dortmund.
It was their game to lose, really. I mean, they always play well at home. They always flip the switch when it comes to Champions League ball, and they play at Stamford Bridge, and they always show up well. And for me, it was the first 30 minutes were the most important part of the game. As long as they didn't drop back and try to play defensive and in that little shell, the team he put out there was crazy solid. Though he really sat down, played like 4 or 5 wingers. Just 2 holders in the middle between Kovacic and Enzo. Enzo didn't have $130 million performance, but he didn't have. I'm saying he didn't have $130 million performance, but he showed up. He played well. He did his job. He did what he was supposed to be there for. But Kovacic, man, was definitely right there linking. They really kind of were overwhelmed in the middle a little bit. But that goal from Sterling, God, it was like a Chicharito sighting all over again. Just get it in there however you can and, on to the next. But Havertz ran amok. I feel like Joao should have stayed on longer. I don't think they should have pulled him. He definitely should have got his goal. And the sooner they get these guys goals, the better for them so they can stop getting shaky in front of goal and they could just have their shots. Because you saw Sterling just bottle it so many times. He just got little in front of the box and refused to just kick it. He didn't know whether to pass it, dribble, shoot. He was just at a loss, but definitely a wide stance from Chelsea. Just went all out for it, and just overran the midfield. Can was only doing what he could, but those long balls were just gutting him. They didn't have an answer for him.
Eddie, 2-parter. One, did this defense look a lot more athletic to you without Thiago in it? Like it felt like they were running around. They were able to do a lot more. I'm not diminishing what Thiago can do, but it just felt like this defense had a little bit more cohesion. Not cohesion, but I just they seem more athletic, able to run around. And then 2, do you think this Chelsea team is dangerous after this big win?
I mean, we never questioned Chelsea's talent. I think there is some talented players there, especially when you bring a Joao Felix. A healthy Reece James is probably one of the best right wing backs in the game. Chilwell had his moments. Cucurella had his moments. Kovacic, when firing and linking play, he's pretty good. But again, not having a Thiago Silva, there's pros and cons to that. But today, they didn't look like they really needed him. Even Kepa was having a great game. What else could we say besides this is the Chelsea team that a lot of people were expecting when they signed Graham Potter? Chelsea team that creates chances, free-flowing football. no individual players are complaining about not receiving the ball. People are, cheering each other on. Stamford Bridge, playing the 12th man. So, you take a lot of positives from this game. And if you're Graham Potter, maybe this is the lineup you stick with moving forward. Because, like you said, this team did play like a team. They showed the cohesion. They showed that they want to play with each other. But then again, what do you miss when you don't put a player like Thiago Silva in there? Maybe your defense isn't as commanding as it can be in the aerial game. Thiago Silva's great at sniffing out danger, and I think this back line is still extremely inexperienced. So moving forward in the Champions League, a player like Thiago Silva might be valuable. We'll see what Graham Potter decides to do.
Was this the last game we see Jude Bellingham as the last Champions League game we see Jude Bellingham as a BVB player?
I knew you were going to ask that. Yes. And I said it all along. You guys laughed at me. He's going to Liverpool. I hate to say it. A Birmingham boy going to Liverpool. I hate to say it. That's what's going to happen. Jurgen Klopp is going to make Jude Bellingham the centerpiece of his rebuild at Liverpool. And I think Jude Bellingham has been itching to get back into the Premier League. Not that he ever played in the Premier League, but in English football in general. I think he wants to prove himself that he belongs in the Premier League. And I think going to Liverpool, which is one of England's biggest clubs, it's a good step for him. Ideally, you'd want him to go somewhere else. Me personally, I'm a little biased. I wouldn't want him coming back to the Premier League if he's not joining Manchester United. Maybe going to Bayern Munich or possibly a Real Madrid or even a Barcelona if they would have offered him. Him and Frankie de Jong would just run a
Those fools ain't got money. They got debt.
They ain't got no money, right? So, yeah, I mean, definitely the last season you see him in Dortmund colors.
So I'm getting right now, we have a fan question from a guy named Dan and Dago. He has a question for J.C. J.C., would you rather have Kai Havertz or Marcus Rashford?
That's Kai Havertz all day.
Oh, my God.
That's easy. You got one Champions League winner and you got one guy who just got Instagram posts. Hey, come on, man. It doesn't even compare. Kai Havertz all day.
Eddie, what do you
Why
think?
are you so disrespectful? I don't understand. Like,
did I miss the game that Rashford won the Champions League?
Kai Havertz in the Premier League
the transfer
is goal
final?
shy, first of all.
Did I miss the final?
He's
My bad.
barely coming alive.
Your guy has been anonymous for 3 years, and he plays an average season, and you want to give him the Ballon d'Or. Don't start. Stop, bro.
Crazy,
Kai Havertz has a championship to his name that holds weight.
You got this man started. Look at this guy. Any little chance he gets to hit on Marcus Rashford, he's there.
It's not hate. It's a fact. What am I saying?
He sent me an old video of Marcus Rashford and LeBron James talking it up, where LeBron James is capping about someone's favorite saying, and I'm like, man, why are you sending me old videos about Marcus Rashford? And he's like, he's just like LeBron, weak mentality, this and that. My guy, you're gonna tell me while Kai Havertz, his time at the Bundesliga with Leverkusen to his time at Chelsea right now, that he's been a phenomenal performer throughout all of that time. Is that what you're going to tell me right now?
Are you done making excuses? Because Rashford hasn't done anything. Are you done?
You can tell me right now.
Are you done?
Is the last time?
Are you done making excuses?
15 goals and 10 assists.
Are you done? Are you done making excuses? How many championships Kai Havertz got? And
no,
how many Rashford
you know who makes excuses here is you. First for Conte.
I had one question.
And then one
question. Championships. How many Champions League championships does Havertz have, and how many does Rashford have? Go.
We're gonna credit that Champions League win to Kai Havertz now. He was Thomas Tuchel's.
He wasn't pivotal.
Golden boy, and he's the reason why Chelsea won that Champions League.
Okay. You know he was Thomas Tuchel's golden boy. Don't even start with that. You know he was.
That's crazy.
I'm trying to pick a winner here, not just some guy with a million Instagram posts. Get out of here.
I'm gonna go JJ Redick on you and say, this is my problem with this show. This is my problem with the show.
Yourself.
You push
your thumbs down. We're trying to play
that.
games here, all right? Not the little cheap
Instagram
posts.
Don't be doing all that. Stop.
All right?
Thank you to Dan and Diego for that question. We appreciate him for asking it. I know he always asks the hard, riveting questions. Hi, Eddie.
all the time.
Next, obviously, the other game was Benfica. They thrashed Club Brugge 5-1, 7-1 on aggregate. JC, I mean, I know we always we say that Benfica has a factory where they kind of bring out players that everybody pays millions of dollars for, and they ended up not working out. But how impressed were you by the Portuguese side?
They're just the world's best hype machine at this point, to be honest with you. Countless $100 million sales, and they're going to keep on doing it. Next guy looks to be Gonzalo, right? Everybody loves a goal scorer, and it looks like to be the next one to replace Darwin Nunez. But they handled business. You expected them to win. How much did you expect them to win by? Probably not 7, but they handled biz, and they just went in there, knocked out the show. Didn't really watch too many of these games. Saw the first leg, the second leg. I kind of just kept my eyes on the other game for the most part for the same reason. It was a lot closer. You knew Benfica was going to handle business. They scored a goal in the first 2 minutes. They called offside, so it was nuts.
Yeah. Eddie, what did you think about this game?
Yeah, I mean, I think I locked that in a long time ago where no disrespect to the Club Brugge fans out there and anyone who watches Belgian soccer, but, this was going to happen. Benfica, one of the hottest teams in Europe. I think they're first place in the league right now. Yeah, this was going to happen. I think the Belgian league is great at producing teams for the Europa League or the Europa Conference League at this point, rather than Champions League. And like JC said, there goes another 100 million plus player, and Gonzalo Ramos. Be on the lookout for his name going for a crazy amount in the next couple of years. Shout out Rui Costa, laughing all the way to the bank. Just did it again with Enzo Fernandez, and he's going to do it again with Gonzalo Ramos. So shout out Rui Costa.
Hype machine, boy. It's crazy out there.
No, definitely. And but do you feel like Benfica? I mean, or is it they just played Club Brugge, or are you actually like? Do you feel like you're a little bit impressed, or it's like, oh, they have? Let's see who they play next, and let's see how they play them.
No, you got to give credit to Roger Schmidt and the boys out there. I mean, they've been playing really well. This is still a professional game. You don't just trash an opponent like that, and not take any credit. That just happened in Manchester United. Pains me to say it, right? So, margins like this are not good for the game, in my opinion, obviously. But it's bound to happen here and there. And it's just unfortunate that Club Brugge played a really hot Benfica team. And that's the result of it.
Yeah, no, completely. JC, anything to add to that?
Nah, it was like Club Brugge gets beat up every year. They're in the Champions. It's not anything new. Like, this is, New Year, same Brugge.
Well, it's time to move on. Let's go to our favorite segment. What's on social media? We love that, don't we? First up, I'm sure Dan and Dago, who asked the question, is going to enjoy this one. Who is having a better Premier League season, Mohamed Salah or Marcus Rashford? They both. Salah's at 18.
You're going to give Salah Ballon d'Or too? Look at that. Wow. Oh, God. Watch out now.
Rashford's at 17. Eddie, who you got?
I mean, we got to look at the numbers, and those numbers don't tell the whole story. I think you want to know which goals have contributed. Which goals have contributed to what goals are game-winning
another
goals.
Excuse.
What goals are game-winning goals? Let's be real.
More excuses.
Okay, and we take away Marcus Rashford. We take Marcus's goals away from Manchester United. I don't think we'd be seeing them in the place they're in right now.
How many goals did Rashford score against Liverpool this weekend?
Again.
And how many did Salah score on Man U?
Again.
How many?
Again.
You're
missing the point.
Refresh my memory here.
Point. You're talking about one game when we're talking about the whole season.
I'm talking about heads up.
Come on now.
Heads up
to this season,
they played each other.
Liverpool
goals.
becoming a laughing stock. They were becoming the next Spurs.
They are.
Klopp is over. Klopp is
They're
done.
not going to win any trophies this year. They are a laughing
I'm
stock.
with you on that. They're not
the
going to win any trophies.
They got was a 7-0.
Let's not say that Marcus Rashford is not having a much better Premier League season than Mohamed Salah.
The numbers show that they're equal.
Don't do that, Larry.
The numbers show they're equal.
Don't do that, Larry.
Okay, numbers. Remove the names. Let's look at numbers. And if you really want to go there,
look at the numbers and see how many of Marcus Rashford's goals have contributed
another
to game-winning situations.
That's the LeBron mentality right there,
that.
bro.
Let's look
the
at
LeBron mentality right there.
Well, if I'm Harry Kane, I can stat pad the Premier League if I wanted to. Spank 30 goals. But what does that matter? What does that matter if I don't win a trophy or get my team in a place where I can win a trophy?
It doesn't, because every time he goes with England, he bottles it.
So
It's the same thing. Rashford was anonymous in
come
the
on, guy.
7-0. He
Come
couldn't
on,
even
guy.
track back and play defense.
The whole
my
team
boy.
was anonymous. The whole team.
Okay, 2 games in a row now. The
All
final,
right.
no Rashford. The
You're
game
gonna race.
Liverpool,
You're gonna race
no
Salah
Rashford.
now. Are you rating
Come on.
Salah? It's a
The
question.
numbers right
Yes or
there.
no? Yes or no? You rating Salah?
I'll rather take Salah over Rashford.
Oh, okay. All right.
Ooh,
It's great to know.
That's interesting.
I'd rather take Salah over
It's great to
Rashford.
know.
And just so you know, Tony's having a better season than both of them. How about that?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, all right.
Now
yeah.
you're not even Tony fan.
More stats.
Now you're not even Tony fan.
I'm just
Now
talking
you're not even
stats.
Tony fan. I rated
Talking
Ivan
numbers.
Tony a long time ago.
Yeah.
And now you're saying
Why
you're
you not
Ivan
sticking
Tony.
to him? Why you not sticking to him?
That's what I said.
He's
I
having
would
a better
rather have
season
Ivan
than both of
Tony.
them.
The real question is, I'd rather have Ivan Tony than Harry Kane at Manchester
You're
United.
smoked.
But you don't want to hear that.
Smoked.
You don't want to hear that.
I don't know why
All
you
right.
would want that.
All right.
Obviously,
That's why you're a Rashford fan, because you don't want to.
Gary Neville over the weekend was not impressed by Bruno Fernandes. He said Bruno Fernandes
Of
has
course,
been
Gary Neville.
embarrassing at
Jesus.
times.
He's hanging out with Jamie too much. He's
What
got
did
too
you
much
think,
character
JC?
in his ear. He's got character in his ear too much. He needs to tone it down a little bit and remember that he's played for United and represents the club. That's just his player frustrations coming out and, just trying to point fingers. I feel like they have to really remember that we're still in a rebuilding phase and that we're not a set team and we don't have the squad depth, and it was bound to happen. With 11 games unbeaten, you're bound to lose one. You don't want to lose 7-0. Had they lost 1, 2-0, whatever, 3-0 at most, you don't get these comments. You're only getting these comments because they got ran out of the park, but it is what it is. Neville's talking like an ex-player, not as, somebody that's really speaking unbiased, but it's just emotional talk from him.
Eddie?
I mean, yeah, everyone showed their frustration that day. And as much as I want to say that JC's right, I think I agree a little bit with Gary here. And I understand that you don't want to see your players moping and crying and throwing their arms in the air. And you're showing a bad attitude on the pitch. So, that makes sense. But then again, let's not pretend that during his playing days, he wasn't, doing these things because, there's certain times where he was. So, yeah, just take it with a grain of salt.
Real quick, let me see this one. I don't know if you guys saw this one. This is pretty cool. This Manchester United fan, she's like, remember me? I did your visa applications for Martinez, Casemiro, and Antony. She's the real MVP for Manchester United, huh? I mean, that's pretty cool that she was at the game and
super
she had that
random. Yeah,
It's pretty
random.
interesting. I don't know what the big picture end game is with this post ESPN, but step up your game. This is weird.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand what the purpose of this is. Plus, I don't know if yeah, it's weird. I don't know if any government agencies are even looking at her post and saying should you be saying that in public or you know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Actually, you're right. That's interesting.
I don't know what's going on with this post. I'm happy she's a
ESPN
United
gonna
fan,
somebody
and I
lose
like
their
her
job
scarf.
over here.
But yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Pretty cool post right here by ESPN FC. They're talking about Cristiano Ronaldo's mom, Maria, followed the beginning of Cristiano's journey in soccer. Now she's doing it at the QC Junior. That's actually pretty. I thought that was a pretty cool picture right there. Little Cristiano winning his trophy, and then obviously QC Juniors. That kid's huge, dude. He looks like he's gonna be a baller.
It's a lovely photo, mate. It's a lovely photo.
Like father, like son, huh? How about that? Look at ESPN showing some love. Check that. Who would have thought?
Real quick on this, will Harry Kane win a trophy before he retires? What do you guys think? JC, what do you think?
It depends who he decides to sign with. He's not going to win anything if he stays with Tottenham. He just showed today that they're not anywhere near any kind of winning football for the next couple of years. It ain't happening. Either he leaves, he might get one, or he will get one if he leaves because he could easily go to a winning side, but it's not going to happen if he stays.
Eddie?
If he leaves Tottenham, he can go anywhere, and he's going to win a trophy. I hate to say it, but, Spurs fans, look away. There's a greater chance of the San Andreas earthquake happening than you guys winning a trophy anytime soon. So
Harry Kane's gonna win a trophy, and that's gonna end up happening. Last one before I let you guys go. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but supposedly San Benito has a new girlfriend. I don't know if you guys saw that. He's been seen with Kendall Jenner all over the last few days. Good thing or bad thing is the Kardashian curse. Is he gonna go from some girl put on Twitter? He's went from Benito to Ben all quick.
Wait, there, yeah. You know, I
somebody
don't
said
know how many
his
of
next
our
album's gonna be
viewers care
trash.
about this, but to be honest, yeah, stay away from the Kardashians. Nothing good has ever come from it.
JC.
No words, man. This is. I don't even honestly, bro. Like, who cares and why? Honestly,
Was
like,
Kendall Jenner the ear whisperer and telling Bad Bunny to change his name from Bad Bunny to Benito? I don't know.
I don't know, but
What's
no
going on,
words.
man?
somebody said his next album's gonna be trash because he's dating her.
Yo, you think it's gonna be trash? I mean, look at the Suns and what she did to poor Devin Booker. Like, you know, it's
And
man,
KD just sprained his ankle. The curse lives on.
Bro,
you're gonna
you saw where
Just twisted his ankle
Odom,
right now in practice.
Lamar Odom, like Kate, Bruce Jenner, like we've all seen exactly what happens, but I'm getting confirmation that there is something out. What is that?
Oh no. What is that? What is that? Wow. Wow. Could be why we're filming early.
Look at that. There you
know.
go.
I don't know.
There you go. Well, we appreciate you guys so much for joining another episode of Compas FC. Definitely, guys, don't forget to check out everything else on the Compas on the Beat network. Regular Compas on the Beat. We talked about Derek Carr going to the Saints. Gilbert said it. Is it really that much of yeah, the rest of the division.
The Saints?
Yeah, he went to the Derek
my
Carr goes to the Saints.
God.
Let's ride.
No, you just broke that news for me, bro. I didn't know.
Oh,
he went
really?
to the Saints.
Okay, yeah,
I've not been tapped in on the NFL
so he
right
went
now.
to the
I'm past due on my compas.
4-year,
podcast
$150
right
million contract.
150?
Yeah, so
You
Gilbert.
see, this is the problem when you pay the average bums. Now, decent players get overpaid, and I can't stand it, bro. They want to talk about like
$30 million.
They paid Gino like 130.
They still have to get rid of $30 million in
hopes
cap
and
space.
dreams.
But Gilbert said it. He said, "What are you going there? You're gonna have to get rid of players. You're gonna have to get rid of a lot of different pieces. Are they really contenders? Maybe for the division, but they won't advance other elsewhere. Is Aaron Rodgers headed to the Jets? A lot of talk's been happening there.
Oh, baby.
Lamar Jackson, what's going on with him in the league? We break that all down on Compas on the Beat. What's up, Bolts? Like we said, and House of Horns. We'll be doing some more as free agency starts. Free agency kicks off on Monday, folks. So make sure you have everything. Compas on the Beat will be doing every single night. We will be doing a recap of free agents all next week. So Monday through Friday, we'll be doing recaps all week. What's up, Bolts? House of Horns will be doing recaps of whatever the Chargers and Rams do, even though we don't think that the Rams and Chargers will be very they don't have deep pockets this year, so they'll probably be quiet. And then Combat Compas, hey, WrestleMania is coming up, so definitely be on the lookout for some of the content.
Shout out Tank Davis.
Exactly. Oh, there you go. Ryan Garcia Davis match is in a month and a half, so who knows?
Hey, Tank, I know you've been on Compas. I mean, hey, Ryan, I know you've been on Compas, and no hard feelings, big dog. You had some talent, but you're fighting a real guy this time. Finally,
hey,
you get real fights.
He may stop by again pretty soon. So
I hope.
You just never know.
I got a question.
We appreciate you guys so much for checking out another episode of Compas FC. We'll be back next week with some more recap on the Champions League. Again, guys, thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Don't forget to be a compa, tell a compa. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys and have a great weekend.